It's so rare. It's so rare. And like that word rare is a very key word because they are out there, but you need to be looking on like all of the marketplaces every single day to find these. Like I've got a client who, like some of the guys that are watching this or listening to this have seen some case studies from my guys that bought multiples lower than that average, but they are looking like 24/7, and it's been a deal where like the rarest case where the guy didn't even know that Empire Flippers existed and didn't even know that they could come and sell from you guys, and you know, and was like in a desperate situation where they had the business. It was they started with a partner, and you know the boyfriend and girlfriend broke up, and they're just like, a desperate situation.
See, that's where I would say desperate situations. And if you're a first time buyer, or even if you're just a beginner buyer who's bought maybe one business before, something like that, stay out of desperate situations, because desperate situations lead to bad businesses getting sold to you. You want the kind of seller who, although he's selling the business, he wants the business to continue to grow, or he at least reasonably considers that the business is going to continue to grow. Maybe he needs the money because of some life event or some other project that he's moving on to. But, you know, when you get into these kind of sellers who are very desperate to sell because of some action on the back end, that raises a lot of red flags for me as well.
Yeah, it does. And it depends on how long they've been desperate for as well. So there's a deal that happened, I think it was like Winch World or something like that, that one of my guys didn't buy the whole business from you, but he worked out a really good deal where it's a 50-50, sort of bought 50% equity into the business and is leveraging off the old owners or the previous owners' knowledge in how they've built the business and ways they can scale it and grow it, and has injected some fresh blood, should I say, into the business for them to grow it together. Now, that was, for me, I thought that was a really good way to go about it, and build a partnership, and then they can go away and do more of this sort of stuff or build this business bigger. Now, I wanted to ask you, Joe, like, are you seeing more of this happen? Like, is this starting to become more regular?
Yeah, I mean, great question, Jared. Look, we do a lot of strange structures at Empire Flippers, because when you start to get over about $100,000 deal, I mean, there's a lot of money flowing back and forth, and sometimes it's rare for an individual investor to have all that cash readily available, or maybe they want to leverage their cash, right? So, on the smaller deals, no, they tend to be typically all cash, simple transfer, nothing special. Between maybe $100,000 and $300,000, it's maybe 25% of the time there tends to be some sort of earnout or a holdback structure where there's equity, a loan from the seller, something like that. Over $300,000 is where you really start to see that happen a lot more. And that's where a lot of these deals tend to come up. And it's good for the buyer and it's good for the seller, because the buyer mitigates his risk. We talked a little bit before about these online businesses are inherently more risky than, if you were buying a manufacturing plant that owned real estate and machinery and stuff like that. I mean,
inventory.
There are tangible assets that can be liquidated.